When you're solving quadratic equations, you expect that you'll get a couple of solutions that are real numbers. But sometimes a quadratic equation has no real number solution. This is an important area to think about. Let's read our helpful hint. If you use the quadratic formula and obtain the square root of a negative number, then you know that there is no real number solution to the quadratic equation. Now, let's see if we can attempt to solve this problem and see what happens when we use the quadratic formula. We need to have an equation that's in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We see that we need to add negative 2x to each side. We see that we need to add plus 5 to each side, so that we have an equivalent equation that's in the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, so we can use our quadratic formula. Minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. In this case, a is 2, b is negative 2, and c is 5. Let's see what happens when we try to use the quadratic formula. X equals minus b, and b is a minus 2, plus or minus the square root, and inside the square root, b squared minus 2 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 5. In our denominator, we have 2 times a, 2 times 2. Now, the opposite of negative 2 is plus 2. When we square minus 2 times minus 2 is plus 4. Minus 4 times 2 is minus 8. Minus 8 times 5 is minus 40. And we notice something very important. We are going to obtain 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 36, all divided by 4. This involves the square root of a negative number. You don't get a real number when you attempt to take the square root of a negative number. So what we say in this particular case is there's no real number solution. We go to try to find a solution to the equation and discover there's no real number that's the answer to that equation.